he builds a lot of stuff, and I kind of like that.
All right, now I think I got the YouTube thing figured out here.
So you're going. All right, I'll let you launch it. I'll be quiet.
Ken, you're muted, just so you know.
I see I qualify for temporarily offline. I don't have any antennas up right now. I just moved to a temporary residence here in a gated community. So right now I'm antennaless.
You got an attic?
What's that?
Have you got an attic?
No, there's no attic, but there's a tree out in front of my window here that I'm thinking of embracing. And see if I can get away with it. I'm only going to be here maybe 2 months at the most.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I sure would like to get back on HF.
You have to get a mag loop
window or something. Yeah, mag loop. Wolf River coil outside the window.
Yeah. Yeah, I have from my other location, I have a thing that fits in the bottom of the window that allow you just lift the window up, and all my cables are accessible now. So just got to get up some kind of an antenna.
All right, I think we're ready to start.
Okay.
All right, for the YouTube bit. Hello, everybody. This is the Southwest Florida Tech Net. We are sponsored by the Southwest Florida Tech Team, and we are doing a live stream on Zoom tonight to discuss digital trunking systems with a software-defined radio. I don't have a slide prepared, but I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to have a live demonstration of how to use a piece of software called SDR Trunk, which allows you to listen to the local fire and EMS, and in some cities, you can need to listen to the police if they're not encrypted. So we're going to go through all that, and any people in the YouTube that don't feel free to use the chat, because sometimes I come in here and I see people have asked questions, and I'm going to be paying special attention to that tonight. So hopefully, because we do have some people that watch on YouTube. So yeah, use the chat if you want. All right. So every city and town and everything, they have their own digital system most of the time. I don't know if I'm pretty sure everybody's transitioned to digital at this point. There may still be a few smaller towns that use analog, in which case you can listen to them on around 157 megahertz, I think. Those where some of them reside. But now any major city has digital systems, and they usually operate on P25 from what I have found. Florida recently just switched their police from being unencrypted to encrypted. So they were previously using P25 phase 1 unencrypted. Now they're using P25 phase 2 encrypted, which means no one can listen to them anymore. And this has happened within the last month. And that understandably has a lot of people upset, because law enforcement truncating their system and making it so you cannot listen to them is kind of, I think we should be able to listen to that stuff, because we're paying for their radios. We should be able to hear what they're doing. And they have reasons about, we don't want people to be able to listen in and use our communications against us to evade the police. But if you think about the effort required to listen to that digital system, the average person, the average criminal who would benefit from that is not going to be walking around with a software-defined radio and a laptop with SDR Trunk running on it. So I kind of think their whole argument is a little bit bogus. But regardless, most systems are moving to encryption. Even fire is moving to encryption in some places, which really has no reason for that. I mean, it's fire. You don't need encryption for that. But nevertheless, every now and then you'll see up on the fire channel, it'll pop up and say encrypted. So you just got to deal with it, I guess. But let me share my screen here, and I'm going to show you about the SDR software we're going to be using today. There's a couple options for SDR software. The one we're going to be using is called SDR Trunk. It is probably the most user-friendly out of the different softwares we've tried. Me and Ian this weekend, or last Saturday, were messing with it, and we were trying different softwares to find out what we liked best. And SDR Trunk seemed to pretty much be able to do it all in one piece of software without having to run a separate instance of like SDR Sharp and then have DSD Plus or something, piggybacking off of that. So it's on GitHub. The link is here. The user is, I am not even pronounce that, but it's on GitHub. And you can see here they have the UI is pretty easy to use. I like the UI, but you have your control channels, and then you have your call channels. So the digital system mostly comprises of a control channel, which tells you where to tune to listen to each radio as they key up. So every time they key up, it's on a different frequency. They have 2 different versions of the software. They've got Windows and Linux. Oh, they have 3 versions, actually. They have a Mac version as well. That's nice. And you can download them here just by downloading the zip file for whatever operating system you're on. We have tested both we have tested both Windows and Linux, and it works on both of them pretty much flawlessly. So the hardware I have for tonight is a Hack RF. Let me share my screen here. I'm just going to share the whole screen, if I may. There we go. So I have mine here. It's when you download it, it's actually just a standalone application. You don't have to install it. On Windows, you run a .bat file. On Linux, you run a shell script. So if we start it up here, I already have my HackRF connected. It always asks if it can do this CPU calibration, but I usually don't do it. It works fine without doing it. So until it becomes a problem, I'm not going to do it because apparently it takes like 20 minutes to do a CPU calibration. But it's not going right now. So here's our main UI. Here's our waterfall. And you can already see here, we're up on 772 megahertz. And you can see these lines here on the waterfall. And here, see, here's one that just popped up just now. That's somebody talking. This one over here is a control channel, which is always transmitting. And if you find this control channel while listening over FM, it sounds kind of like a car engine running. Sounds a little weird, but when you're in the digital software, it actually works. So if we go to tuners, you see the Hack RF was picked up automatically and it is unlocked. So if you're using 2 receivers, they say you can use 2 RTL SDR receivers to do the same thing. We actually made it work with 1 RTL SDR. So I'm thinking that if the incoming transmission is within the bandwidth of the RTL SDR, it'll work with 1 receiver. Otherwise, if you plug in a second device, it'll show up in this list. And whenever you start the software running, it'll automatically pick 1 to monitor the control channel and 1 to do the actual tuning around and listening. So this one right now is sitting on 771.5 megahertz, which is not that, but it's something else. I can't see it, I think, because the little zoom window here is covering it up. But there's your tuner. You can manually set the frequency if you want. And I guess that's if you want to manually check a frequency, because you can still tune around and scan around and stuff. It has this map function, and I have not quite figured out what this is used for. I would think that if the system is transmitting the location when they key up, you would actually see it on the map, which is a pretty cool feature. The other software we saw didn't have this built into the software. So this was pretty cool. I wonder if I can get that to work tonight. Here's our little now playing tab. There's nothing here right now, but you'll see in a minute what shows up here. You have the list of all the active channels and what they're transmitting and stuff. You have left and right. So it can monitor 2 channels at once. And it'll start with the left channel, but if another transmission occurs during the first channel being active, it'll start playing on the right channel. So you can actually listen to 2 at once. And this is especially useful for Broadcastify, which has that multi-channel function where you can assign a left and right channel to a different input. So to get started, we're going to go here and hit the playlist editor. And this is where you do most of your configuration. So playlist is just like a master configuration. If you want to, like, say, take a laptop to another city, you can create another playlist with that city's information programmed in. But the way we're going to start off is by going to radio reference, the little radio reference tab. So it has this function built in where you sign into a radio reference account and you can automatically download all the frequency lists for your local area. So I'm already signed in here. And if I say here, it says country, United States, state, Alabama, county, Madison. And now I have a list here of all the trunk systems, the state trunk systems, the agencies, state agencies, and national agencies. So starting from the right, the national agencies tab has stuff like air shows, amateur radio, for your reference, air of service currently available. I don't know why it says that. It might be my VPN causing that issue. So you can scroll down here, you can see all your frequencies, and this will monitor AM and FM channels as well. You can put in air traffic control and it'll monitor that just fine. So it does more than just digital. But you can see here all the like basic ham frequencies are in here, all the call channels and stuff like that. If we go to state agencies, we have more categories for different things like Alabama railroads. If we click that, and hopefully it loads. It did load. Okay. You can click a category, and then you have all these subcategories here, these subchannels. So all these different things. This is Alabama railroads. So, I mean, if we want to listen to the CSX car inspectors, it's in there. So the radio reference integration is really, really cool to have. If you're in an area that just received an update to their systems like Lee County did, the information was not quite accurate. But actually, no, I take that back. It was accurate because as soon as we plugged it in, we were listening to fire dispatch and ambulance communications. The police was even being picked up. It was just encrypted. So that I take it back. It was only like a few days after the switchover that the information in radio reference was updated. So you really don't have to do any work. Just sign in and hit the county and state, and you're good to go. So I want to listen to the local, like just all the local stuff. I want to listen to HEMSI, which is the ambulance service. I want to listen to fire dispatch, all that good stuff. So I'm going to hit the Alabama radio system.
Did you maximize that screen?
Oh, sure. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have the system view, which shows you all the different systems they're using for every like county or every area. I'm not sure if these are counties or like, I think I saw Monrovia in there, which isn't a county. I'm not sure what you call that. But if we go to talk group view, this is my favorite part, is the talk group view. And here we have all the cool stuff. So we have like dispatch north, dispatch south, dispatch west, fire tactical. You even have the National Weather Service Huntsville WeatherNet. That's in there. Then you got your police, waste management, fire dispatch for different surrounding areas, Birmingham. I don't know what family court would be, but we have a lot of stuff in here. So when you're in this view here, you can import all talk groups. So you hit this button here, you hit import all talk groups. And I've already imported it, so it's going to not do anything. But if we go to channels tab, now we're in the channels tab. So the flow here to go from a blank new install of the software to listening to your local stuff is go to radio reference, sign in, select your country, state, and county. Then you go to the trunk systems or whatever tab you want. Then go to talk group view, select the system first, and then go to talk group view and hit import all talk groups. Then you head over to the channels tab, and this is where your the thing you just imported will be. And in my case, it's the Alabama interoperable radio system. So from this menu here, we can start it. We can change like master settings. So we can tell it to auto start when we launch the software. We can change the control channel frequency. We can tell it what the preferred tuner is. So if you have multiple receivers on different antennas, you can tell it to use whichever one has whatever antenna you want. So if you want a big antenna for listening to the vehicles out in the field, you select that one. And then if you want the control channel, which you get a good signal with on a smaller antenna, then you can do that. You can change other information here about the decoder as well, like the modulation type, and you can do various settings here. There's also logging settings, and you can also record. So you can record the baseband or the audio, whatever you want, which is a good feature to have. You can have an archive going at the same time as listening. So once your system is in here, you don't really have to do much here. You can tell it to auto start if you want, but the real interesting tab is the Aliases tab. And this is where you control what you actually want to listen to. So I have pretty much everything muted except for the stuff that I really want to listen to. Let me just adjust that. Okay. So everything here is muted, but you can see on the left hand, it says alias. This is all the individual channels that are showing up under this system. So you have pretty much everything from all the surrounding areas, and you won't be able to listen to all of this at once just because you won't be able to pick up the signal most of the time. It's on 800 megahertz, so it doesn't, have the same properties as 70 centimeters or 2 meters. It doesn't go quite as far, but they usually use a lot of power, and they're usually on a mountain somewhere. So the reach is pretty good, just only for the area you're actually in. But we have a lot of stuff here. So if you turn it all on, then anytime the system hears any of those channels, it'll just start talking. And that's kind of a problem if you want to have a Broadcastify stream or if you want to know what you're actually listening to. So if we click on the Huntsville Police Department North Dispatch channel right here, we have some options. We can rename it. We can change the group that it's in. And we actually have a talk group number here. So this is where you choose whether or not you want to listen to it. So on the right here, we have a little button that says listen. And if that's on, then if it hears a signal from that group, it will open up the squelch and you'll be able to listen to it. If it's off, it'll just completely ignore it. Oh, and you can also turn on the record option. So I only have these three. I think I have like four things enabled here. The police are in here, but they're encrypted, so you can't listen to them. And I'll show you in a minute what that's like. But right now, I just have the Huntsville Police Department North, South, and West Dispatch enabled. I would also like to have HEMSI enabled. So if I search in here, HEMSI, yeah, I have that enabled too. So HEMSI main, and then all these PAR channels. I'm not sure what the PAR stands for, but there's usually activity on there. I also have HEMSI Rescue 1 and HEMSI Rescue 2 enabled. Everything else I have disabled. If I see activity happening on those channels from the monitor, I may go and enable them. But for the sake of this, I want to actually have control over what I'm listening to. So that's why I have it like that. The last tab you have is the streaming tab. And I haven't messed with this, but I believe what you can do is stream to Broadcastify straight from the software. So if you want to run a feed of your local area, couldn't be easier with this software. But I'm pretty sure that's about all we really need to know about this area. If you go to identifier, you can see more detailed information. You can actually get the talk group numbers for everything, which is pretty cool. But I think we're pretty much done in this tab. So I'm going to go back to channels. And I'm going to select this one here, the Madison one, and I'm going to hit play. Now, I want to make it so y'all can hear it. And I'm going to hit share sound. We're going to see if that works. I may have to go into my options here and make sure y'all can hear it. I believe I'm going to tell it to monitor the speaker. So we'll see if that works. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it up a little bit. All right, I'm going to hit play. And then it's going to actually start listening, and we may hear activity right away. So I'm going to play. Oh, and it's already going. So see the encrypted here? That's the police. It says Huntsville Police Department encrypt. You can't listen to that. There's not really a way around that as far as I know, unless you knew like the department's actual. I don't know how their encryption works. They probably have some kind of code that goes into every radio to make them all work with each other. But unfortunately, Ian was talking about surely there's got to be a way to decrypt it. I'm pretty sure there's not.
Whiskey 92, we're clear.
I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but they just keyed up and listened and talked there for a second.
92, repeats traffic.
Man, it's pretty choppy.
92, we're clear.
I wonder why it's so choppy. I don't have a great signal here. I'm just using a telescopic antenna on the Hack RF. The funny thing was I connected it to my tower antenna and it didn't seem to get that much better. I was kind of going off the signal strength here in the waterfall and it didn't look any better. That's really garbled.
92, copy a transfer from Huntsville Hospital.
That was all right. So can y'all hear that?
32, 10-4.
Can you?
Yes.
Picking up room
Awesome.
766, transporting to the patient residence.
So that's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty easy. I wonder if we go to map here, if we can actually see.
Was there a user ID and password that you had to register somewhere?
Yeah, so on Broadcastify, you can make a radio reference account. If you have well, radio reference and Broadcastify are the same thing. So if you have a login for radio reference, then you log in with it here. And that's how you download everything. So I don't know why you have to have an account to download the information that's already there, but I guess it's a sort of like the logging software. So you can see all the encrypted traffic here. That's the police talking, and we're not allowed to listen in. But you can see it says control channel. If you click on the actual line here, it'll tell you the frequency, and you can see other information about it here. This shows you all the sites that it controls, I think. So if you're setting up a physical scanner, like a dedicated scanner and not a software-defined radio, this might be information that you need.
10 at station 12. Yeah, for 106.
But yeah, they're using P25 phase 1 here, it looks like. Everybody here is using phase 1. In Florida, they're using phase 2. I'm not really sure what the difference is. It's probably just updated technology. There's some other stuff in here. It'll say data every now and then. I'm not sure what that is. But the cool thing is if there's like a fire call or something and they do the pager, it'll show here like the tone being played. So it does do some level of...
Echo 73, 3216 Berkeley Street, code 1, 1038 of credit card.
It does do some level of listening to the audio and decoding it and telling you what's playing, which is pretty cool. So there's stuff here. Just a log of everything being picked up. Call rejected, I'm pretty sure means it's encrypted. Yeah, it says right here, Huntsville Police Department encrypted. There's also messages, which is more logging. And the channel, it'll tell you the actual signal strength here. Appears to be all right using my antenna. But the digital always just sounds kind of bad. I don't know why they sound like this. I always thought that analog sounded better and was more readable, but I guess it works for them. So you have that, and that's all there is to it, really. It's pretty easy to do. But I do want to kind of show the local Florida stuff as well, because y'all are actually in Florida. So I'm going to log into the computer that Ian has set up, and I'll show you the Florida side of things, because they just did an update, so it's slightly different. I got to start TeamViewer here. Computers and contacts. Okay, let's share this. Okay, so this is the same thing, except it's running on Ian's system in Fort Myers. So here you can see there's even more encrypted traffic. There's actually more traffic in Lee County than there is here in Huntsville, which is kind of surprising because the police here are very active. But see, some of them are P25-2 and some are P25-1. But there's not a whole lot different than in Huntsville. It's just slightly different traffic. You can see here we have different groups. We can listen to Florida Power and Light if we want. The other funny thing is that there's some business stuff here too. So you have your Lee County government, and I think the no symbol means it's encrypted or they no longer use the system. But like Lightning Wireless, it says right here, Lightning Wireless, that is a company that sells radios to both police and for business stuff. So I'm not exactly sure what we'll hear if we do this, but I kind of want to try it out. Because that may be like, okay, we only have one channel here. Oh, let me make sure y'all can. Yeah, I should be able to hear the sound still coming from Florida. Okay, that messed up a little bit. Okay, I kind of want to listen to this. So if we hit create channel configuration, now we have like, oh, sorry. Well, now what is this? There's two of them. I'm going to say listen to Lightning Wireless. Let's see what we hear. Probably won't hear much because I don't even see a control channel there. If it has one. 462.75. I'm not sure what that would be. No control channel for this either. There may not even be an always on control channel because this is a protocol.
A PDEX rather than a P25. It's just different terminology.
Oh, yeah, it says decoder LTR. Interesting. You can turn on the MDC 12,000 decoder.
And
no,
a lot
of
these, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A lot of these radio resellers and companies like that have their own systems up that they will sell time to subscribers to use for businesses or anything else, and they'll just use their one system and just have so many channels on it. So that would be my guess from looking at what you've got there, that's what Lightning Wireless is doing with that.
Probably so. Well, we looked into that as a business in Florida. We had a system that was, I believe it was voice over IP, sort of like Zello. The radios could connect to Wi-Fi and they could use Wi-Fi and everything. But they also had you could take them out in the field and they would keep working. Those might have been on this system, but I think because we tried a system a long time ago that I believe was this. It was actual, like transmitting to a tower back to the radio. Didn't use the internet. I'm not hearing any traffic on there. Let's see what else we can hear. We have a couple things we can check out. We have public safety. We have, I don't know what Qualicom would be. Spectrum Wireless. I guess they're an internet provider, would be my guess. Statewide law enforcement. Let's try that. I wonder if they're encrypted. They're probably encrypted. Okay, we got all different counties here. Let's see if we can find Lee. We don't have a Lee County. Well, we won't be able to pick up anything from that. I mean, oh, this says Miami Air. I wonder if that's like helicopters and stuff. I don't know what that would be.
Here in Lee County, Qualicom is a radio shop. They sell radios, install radios, but like Dave said, they probably have a system where they sell time on it for various users.
Okay, I got it. Did this find something? No, I don't think so. Well, it doesn't seem to be anything I can add that, but let's try something else. So it can do more than digital. I want to try like air traffic. I believe that would be here. It says it can do CB. I don't know how that would work with this software. I want to kind of try. Oh, can I not add it? We can't hit. Let's try channel 19. If I hit create, what happens? Okay, play. And it just opens a squelch, it looks like. But it is listening. So it can do more than just digital, which is kind of, I don't know why. But I'm okay with that, that's cool. I really want to try and get air traffic control and see if it can actually monitor the different channels like a real scanner would. Because that's one thing that is not great on software-defined radios is scanning. SDR Sharp has a plugin for scanning, and that works fairly well. But it's not like, it's not really that good. Every now and then it'll mess up and just decide it's going to stop scanning. So if we could use this in place of that, that'd be really cool. I'm not really sure where that would be. I thought it would be in national agencies. We have the amateur radio tab here. Oh, that's probably what it is. Common aviation. Yeah, here we go. Trying to see if I recognize these frequencies because I used to listen to these. Okay, that doesn't help. Well, we can try this. Oh, you know what? I have to select a channel to actually listen to. I don't remember what the frequency was for approach, but that doesn't really help. But we got other stuff in here. Public safety, wireless microphones. That's old. Wireless microphones don't use that anymore. Law enforcement system in some areas. Okay. Well, this is all data put in by users. This is not like official provided by the different areas. I'm trying to see. Oh, page field. Here we go. So this would actually be interesting. Here we go. There's the tab you want. So you go to county agencies, and that's where you can see your airports, looks like. Okay, so now we have our approach and departure. This one, I believe, is what I used to monitor a lot, 126.800. So if I hit create, play. Okay, that just opens the squelch. I wonder if there's a... Oh, here's some traffic. What is that? Audio must be delayed or something. It doesn't look right. Tuners. Can I change the squelch on this? I guess not. I don't see a squelch option. Even the decoder thing is just grayed out. Well, that's not very useful if we can't change the squelch. Well, that's not good. I mean, we're hearing traffic, so it is semi-working. What is this? Oh, thought I was getting a notification for our stream. I was like, wow, that was really delayed. Was there another frequency that used to have a lot of activity on it? I can't remember. I had a couple frequencies programmed in. Let me try my local area for the airport. I want to try that. Let me get this, pull this back up here. Screen. I'm just going to share the whole screen. It's easier that way. Oh, we have one chat message. Everyone have guys catch you later. All right. I didn't get to say bye to Dave, but hopefully he has a okay time. We're on the HackRF still. I am going to go to playlist editor and see if I can find. So county agencies. Here we go. Ooh, Redstone Arsenal. I'm interested in Huntsville International Airport. So there's all the frequencies for that. Since I'm on a HackRF, I should be able to like add all of them, listen to all of them at once. Can I do that? Can I like select multiple? Don't think I can. So you have approach, departure. I need to look on here because I have all this programmed into my 8900. I can tell the frequencies. So we want to listen to. Oops, that's the wrong button. What? Okay, 118.050. Is that in here? Yeah, there it is. All right. So, yeah, you really don't have any options for squelch, it seems like. Huh. I guess it just sort of listens to it. Probably not gonna even hear much. I don't even hear much right now. Nothing coming in over the actual antenna, so there's no traffic on here right now. Playlist editor. Stop that. We'll go back to this. I kind of want to see how the map works.
12-4-17-10-4.
Map.
Medicaid. Start towards Samson Cove, please.
I wonder what system actually uses the location stuff.
Medicaid. Tube traffic. 10-4. Start towards Samson Cove, please.
I don't see anything here. Map.
10-4.
Charlie 417, so roll on both sides at 97.
17-4.
You can't adjust your receivers. Okay, maybe this was still no squelch option, but you can change the gain of the various different amplifiers and stuff the HackRF has. You can do the same thing for RTL SDR. But that's pretty much it. I mean, this couldn't be easier. You just open up, sign into your broadcast for your radio reference, and just download the frequencies and select it, and you're listening in like 2 minutes. Man, all that encrypted though. HPD encrypt.
Manic 12, transporter route.
12-10-4.
So they're on. So that says they're on phase 1, right? The encrypted channel?
12-3-14. 10-20.
I thought they were on phase 2 here.
10-4. Tag and description.
Alabama tag 1852 Bravo Foxtrot 7 on a white Nissan Versa.
10-4.
I'm gonna see if I can find businesses. What businesses do we have?
Charlie 416,
Okay, why does the bank have? Why does a
Oh,
bank
14,
have
10-20.
a radio system?
Governor's West and Cabela Drive.
What's up with that? See if we can
10-4.
listen to
Tag and
that.
description.
What does that look like? Oh, that's on 461 megahertz. So that's like business. Ooh, what is this over here? I'm getting distracted. That looks like a. What is that? I want to tune to that. What is that on? 462.876. I gotta tune to that. That looked really weird. I think that was some kind of. Let's set this to HackRF here. It was on 462.876. What was that? I'm gonna crank up my gain a little bit here. I saw something weird there. It looked like an HF digital mode or something. Of course, now I'm not seeing it. Not seeing anything at all. Oh well. Go back to this. Is that it again? No, that's something else. Okay, let's go back to our playlist editor. So in my channels, I think I have this now. Yeah, okay. What else can we listen to? Talk group view. Okay, that's what we're already in. There's the Huntsville International Airport. We already looked at that. That might be kind of cool. But again, no squelch, so. There's just a lot of stuff here. Alabama severe weather. I wonder what. Amateur storm chasers. Okay, so this is 220. I guess that's just amateur radio. Skywarn. Okay. I guess not a whole lot left to do in here. What is this? So we have other stuff. Oh, okay. Huntsville radio service. What is this? Oh, okay. You got towing company. Protocol not supported. Well, what does that mean? Mode analog. Well, but it can do analog. That's fine. Type 1? I don't know what's up with that. Let's go to Madison County Schools. That's what we got. Von Braun Center. Probably not going to be any activity on there. Even if we tune into that. I don't think we'd be able to pick that up from here either. Not with this system. So now what's up with that? I added it and I added 4 that all appear to be different things. Yeah, there's no way we're going to hear anything on that. Not with this antenna. I guess we'll just go back to this. Well, I think that can't play channel, no tuner available. I think that kind of pretty much does it for my demonstration here. I don't have much else to show just because it's so easy to do. I mean, okay, why is this in the middle of the screen? No audio here, got audio back. Can I move this? Well, I guess there you go. I mean, there really isn't much else to it. That's pretty cool, though. You can see the frequency pop up and then it tunes to it.
Drive-off tag on a gray Nissan Altima.
That's pretty cool. So the control here is on 772.28125. So we 772, and then if we try and find that here just using FM, 772. I believe that's it right there. Yeah, you can hear it. Oh, it stopped. The control channel wouldn't have done that. Are we on the same frequency here? Is that it? That might be it. But yeah. There's up on 800 megahertz, there's usually some FM traffic as well. I think it's like a repeat of the digital system though, because it usually sounds digital, but it's on FM. Where is that? Oh, that's probably like LTE or something. Up here on 869 megahertz. Could be TV too. Well, that looks like cellular to me. What if I put my phone near it? Can I do anything different? Guess not. Well, I wonder where that... This is weird. Some kind of frequency hopping going on here. About 900 megahertz. I don't know what that is. Well, with one, here we go. That's a lot of interference or something. What is that? Well, I kind of want to try decoding something from a different protocol that's not P25. But every channel we've tried so far has just had no activity on it. Or it could be that it's on an antenna that's just too small to pick up the stuff that might be being transmitted. Can I do like a sort by type kind of thing? As you can see, so here's like Madison County Schools. See, there wouldn't be any traffic on that right now because I don't know if there'd be anything on this. All P25 voice, it says. What else is there? Smart radio DMR. What is this? Top group view. Oh, see, this is cool. Taxi company. Let's see if we can listen to that. Hold on. What did I do? I hit create talk group alias. So if we go to, let's turn off listen on all this stuff. And then search for taxi. Okay, that's turned on. Make sure the other stuff I had on here is turned off. So I want to hear just taxi traffic. And there seems to be some other stuff in there as well. So it seems like everything business related is going digital over time, which is unfortunate because you're not going to be able to use your Baofeng to listen to it anymore. Okay, let us see here. Would that be this one? I guess it would be that one. I don't know. This is confusing me. The alias tab is showing up in the same group as the Huntsville. I'm confused about this. If we go to channels, it would seem that this would be it, but I mean that takes. Why would taxi be on this system? Maybe it is. What else do we have? Towing. New talk group alias. I guess it's all in the same system. I mean, it says system smart radio DMR, whereas this is our. Oh, hold on. If we say import to alias list, let's create a new alias list. Let's say list 2. Then we say import all talk groups. List 2. Oh. So the thing I still don't understand is if we go to channels, we don't have anything else to tune to. So how would I actually listen to these aliases? I think these are just garbage. I mean, we start this because I've never seen traffic from those. Like it never said taxi. So how do you listen to these things? There's no frequency. It's just a talk group, and it says DMR. So maybe, oh, you know what it is? Maybe in channels we need to add. Maybe there's some kind of master DMR transmitter. So I don't know how this DMR stuff works. Ian was supposed to send me a DMR handheld in the mail eventually here, and then I'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, see, this is just aliases. This doesn't have frequencies to tune to. So I wouldn't know how to get into this. Oh, wait.
Go back to your system view.
I just
in the
did.
county you're in. That should give you some frequencies that are in use in the system in that county.
I think you're right. So we have, I mean, we're in Madison County. So that's probably what we want right there. Systems. Yeah, smart radio DMR. Okay. Now we have this. Now, instead of listening to this, I can see the button. There we go. We listen to this. Now we should be listening to all these things here. So, oh, it's doing something. It looks like it's scanning between two frequencies. I'm gonna put this on my my tower here because right now it's just on a magnetic, my telescopic antenna. I'm gonna screw it into my tower. Maybe we'll be able to hear something. Well, I'm not talking to you.
Well, DMR will have one frequency and two split between two channels. It's a 12.5 kilohertz channel split into two 6.25 talk groups, kilohertz talk groups. That's why you see TS1, TS2.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like this is a whole repeater system. So it's got multiple frequencies linked together is what I'm seeing. But it should just scan. And if some traffic comes up with the talk group you have in.
Oh, wait, it says active. Hold on. It went from control. Okay, I think plugging the better antenna in actually did something. Now it appears to be locked on frequency.
Yeah, it did increase your signal strength. So I think if you just let it run, it'll come up with something if there's any traffic here shortly.
I hope we actually can get some traffic on this. So these are all the things we should be listening to. Huntsville taxi, garbage, plumbing, Huntsville AC, more taxi, towing, concrete, something security. I'm not sure if that would be more concrete. So I'm not hearing anything though. I wonder what this 451 channel is here. This looks like a control channel, but oh,
410, 1098.
what was that? We can't. It says traffic channel. Well, that doesn't help us. I don't know what company that was. What was the number on that? Oh, 001501. I think if we go to this 1000501, there's 1501, but that's not the same thing. It was 001501. Or maybe it was that. So in that case, it would have been plumbing. A plumbing company. I don't know which one. It just says Oh, it is right here. Well, that's neat. Well, now that we have this better antenna, I want to try some other things. We're listening to all this. What else have we got? Try the airport authority. Protocol not supported. Well, what is the protocol? It doesn't even tell you. I wonder if there's just no protocol entered in on radio reference, so it just doesn't even know. Mode analog. Again, protocol not supported. What? System view. So I'm kind of figuring out how this works a little bit better now. If I can find, I see this, but it says simulcast. Let's try it. So I just put in, that's not what I just put in, is it? I guess I did. I wonder if that's what we've been listening to this whole time. Oh, I'm back on here again. That's not where I want it to be. Boeing Company. No groups available for that. See, that's cool. They've got a hotel in there. I bet I could pick this up. I want to try this. I bet I could pick this up.
Because, I mean, I got my trailer, so I didn't know.
Or so you're gonna roll this.
Oh.
I don't think it did. Yeah, 10-4.
Yeah, right. Well, he said he's going to get it today, so it might be another 2 weeks.
Got some traffic there. I'm gonna stop that one. So I want to listen to this. If I hit create, okay. Well, let's listen to it. Oh wait, we gotta go into our aliases still. But we don't have it. See, why are some of these different? This one has system view talk review, and then this one, it's just, oh, because you know why? Because it's not the same. There's no talk group. It's just one frequency. Play. Well, I see something there. Like there's a little bit. Oh, so we are picking up something on that. Wonder if I should play with my gain settings. Turn on the amplifier. That doesn't really help.
Turn the noise up.
I mean, it is getting something. I guess they're just not talking. Even though it says there's a channel here. I'm just not hearing any audio. Madison Super Target. Now, see, this is, I know what this is because I can listen to this on my handheld when I'm actually there. This is FM narrow. Is it going to have the squelch just open? No, actually, it's not. See, those are those things I've seen before. Wish I could just click on it, tune to it. Well, we're probably not going to hear much. Although this is not that far from the house, so we might pick up something. Maybe not. That's all FM now. Well, I guess there's not much else to really do here. Aside from listen to the ham radio stuff. If anybody can do that. Well, I guess that kind of concludes my demonstration then. I mean, this software is really easy to use. Oh, I'm still connected on TeamViewer.
You're running this on Linux or Windows?
I'm on Linux right now, but it's the same on Windows. Software is the same. So that's our main thing here.
They'll have a Raspberry Pi.
Decon for C diff and we'll be clear. Should be about another 3 or 4 minutes.
Let me turn this down a little bit.
92 transfer after.
92, 10-4.
Turn that down just a little bit. Yeah, we're on Linux here. I'm using a HackRF. Oh, there's all our encrypted that we're not allowed to listen to. But it seems to be pretty cool. I need to get another computer here. I have another computer that's running the plane tracker. If I can get that to work. I have this problem. So I made a USB cable because the laptop's sitting in the garage and the receiver's out on the fence. So I needed like a 16-foot USB cable. So I made one using Ethernet cable. And it works most of the time, but the problem is it's not consistent. So right now it says tracking 0 planes. But that's because the software on... No, that's not what I meant to connect to. That's because the Dump 1090 software running on the laptop has lost the connection to the RTL SDR, even though it's still connected. Nothing has changed with the wiring. It's just... It loses it. And that only happens whenever I use extension cables like that. See, CB transfer status 5 canceling. So every time this happens, I have to stop it and start it again. Oh, now it doesn't even see it. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, it's there. Oh, wait, nope. That's the...
There's some Wendy's hamburgers and cheeseburgers here if anybody wants them.
Okay. Yeah, it's not even showing up now. Well, great. Now what do I do? This is the problem with trying to use these receivers for this stuff because they have to have a computer right next to them, and you can't buy Raspberry Pis anymore, so you can't use them. Oh, but I don't know if y'all remember. A while back, I was trying to get Virtual Radar Server to work on Linux, and I finally figured it out. It was partially just me being kind of dumb because on the website you download it and it tells you how to run it. And then if you scroll down a little bit, it says, oh, if you have this particular error, download this file and put it in the folder with the software and it'll work. And sure enough, it works. I wish they would, I don't know. It was not very obvious what you had to do, but so that actually works. Now I just have to go and replug in the receiver to make this start working. So I got to get like an active repeater cable or find some Raspberry Pis. Did y'all know? So oh, not this again. See these buttons on here? They don't go away until you click them. Okay, if we go to RPI Locator is what it's called. It's a website that tracks the availability of Raspberry Pis. And it checks, I believe it checks like literally every store, every online store. And right now, the only place you can buy Raspberry Pis in the entire internet, in the entire world pretty much, is these two foreign stores. I mean, how ridiculous is that? If I put on a filter for regions and I put in US, not a single US store has them in stock right now. I mean, look at this. Not in stock. None of them have it. And it was like this like a week ago. I checked this a week ago. It's same thing. Only these two stores have them in stock.
Can you get the Raspberry Pi 400?
So that's interesting too. The Raspberry Pi 400, about 2 months ago, like Gigaparts was having overstock, and you can buy them on Amazon for like $70. Now it's having the same exact problem as other Pis. You can't buy them, and they're crazy expensive. That's not even a Raspberry Pi. What is this? This is what I'm talking about, though. Look at this insanity. Yes, would you like to pay $225 for this thing?
You might as well get you a full-blown Intel machine.
Yeah, really. You could buy a cheap laptop for that price.
Yeah.
But let's say if we go to Raspberry Pi 400. Yep, 100 and well, that's the kit with the accessories, 150.
7.
But Gigaparts is completely sold out. Okay, well the price of these hasn't gone up that much. It's gone up like $30.
The boards they seem to be really after.
Yeah, well people were buying these kits just to get to the Pi.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how there can be every single store except for these 2 stores in Europe can possibly be out of stock, all of them. I mean, where are they all going? I guess we could buy from here, but then it's probably gonna have to go through customs and stuff, and then you can have all kind of fees. This is in German. I think that roughly translates to $70. How crazy is that?
I'm glad I got one when I did, but if I want any more, I'm kind of in trouble.
Yeah, really. I mean, you can't find them anywhere else. Even on like eBay used, I was able to find the original Raspberry Pi, the original B Plus. I was able to find one of those for sale for a reasonable price, but nothing else. I just don't understand what. And you know what really frustrates me is that the people who make the Pis are still making, you know, all these posts about, oh, look at all these cool things you can do with Raspberry Pis, and they don't say anything about the shortages.
But you can't get them.
Yeah, you can't. Oh, that's cool and all, but you cannot do the project because you can't get the Pis. Now, what is this? Rock Pi 4? Titus has one. They look just like a Pi.
Maybe a Chinese knockoff.
I guess.
There's some knockoffs out there.
There's also Orange Pi.
Yeah.
Oh, these are like. Well, now what is this? Would this be a decent thing to try and use? It says Orange Pi PC.
H Android Ubuntu Debian.
That's kind of cool. It has the pins on it. I mean, it's really only. I don't really need the pins.
You see it.
Well, this is kind of interesting. It has an onboard microphone, an infrared receiver. I mean, Pi doesn't have that, but that's not. I mean, I don't even really need the GPIO pins. I just need the small computer with a USB port on it and Ethernet. So this might actually be a decent thing. And if I can put Ubuntu on it, then that would actually do what I want. Maybe I need to get one of these. What does this say? Oh. Maybe this is what I need to get.
Customs clearance.
Maybe this is why. Maybe I need to get one of these then.
Before you buy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that. No ratings. But that's kind of cool. I didn't know. I mean, I've heard about these, but I never really looked to see what they were. And they seem to be priced. I mean, I don't know what they were originally priced as, so these might still be crazy high prices, but compared to a Pi, $230.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
I kind of wanted to build me a robot with a camera on it to go out front and look around when strange people pull up in the driveway, spook them off.
That's what you need right there.
Yeah, 1080p HD webcam.
Infrared camera. I think it's infrared.
Only $22. Wow.
That's not bad. I think, doesn't it plug into the...
I think they go right into the Pi.
Yeah.
Got to be able to get the Pi first.
No pie for you. You cannot have one. Even the kits are gone now. I mean, you used to be able to get the kit and pay an extra $50 for the kit, but now you can't even do that. I mean, Amazon seems to be the place where a lot of people buy it. Adafruit and the other website similar to Adafruit, I can't remember what it's called, but SparkFun, I think is what it's called. They're completely out.
400 quad 464-bit, $99. That's, if it's got the power supply, that's a normal price.
No, it doesn't have power supply. It's just the keyboard.
Because keyboard usually just alone goes for around $70 in normal
Save an
time.
extra $10. Well, that would be $80 for that.
That's not too terribly bad.
Actually, that's not bad. I mean, the problem again though is the size. It's not the size of a normal Pi.
No.
So you might as well just put a cheap laptop. I mean, if we look up for a cheap laptop, you can get a laptop for, let's do sort by price low to high. Can we do that? Price. If we say 50 to 100 or 100 to 200, these are all kind of 200, but like for the same price as a Pi, you can get a full laptop. Here's one, $139, $114. That's a Chromebook. Okay, it doesn't count. It's also a Chromebook. Another Chromebook. I don't want a Chromebook.
They expire.
Yeah. Let's try doing just 50 to 100. 50 to 100 for a laptop. And they're all Chromebooks. Can't you put Linux on a Chromebook though?
You got to put the Chromebook. I think you have to put it in developer mode or some such thing in order to be able to boot the Linux. Which kind of sucks. That you got to run the resident operating system and then run Linux on top of that. I'd rather just take a Windows box and clear some room on the disk and just run Linux on that.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Joseph, why are they selling so many Chromebooks?
I don't know. Students like them. The ones who are in school. They're cheap and they can usually have a web browser is all you really need. Raspberry Pi Model 4, 2 GB for $100 or best offer. There's another $100. Now see this, oh, this was not here the other day. Raspberry Pi Model 3 V1.2 for $100. Still too much. These are $35 normally.
Yeah.
Putting them up for bid. I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah, you'll have to start a Raspberry Pi auction.
Mm-hmm. It's just like the houses. They're putting them for auction.
Same.
Anytime you think you have a chance of getting it at a decent price, it turns out it's a bid. And you know, when it comes time to buy it, it's going to go up to $100 anyway.
I like buying something on eBay.
Kind of like it, huh? Raspberry Pi 2 Model B. A Pi Zero for $42. Those are, I mean, what are those? Like $20 normally?
Yeah.
Or 15? Yeah. That's the original Pi Model B. $180.
That's insane.
I have one Pi left. It's sitting up here on the shelf, and it's being used for an all-star node. And anything else I want to do, I mean, if I want to set up, like I really want to do the satellite dish again, I'm gonna have to run an extension cord and put a laptop in like a weatherproof box out there if I want to do this, because there's nothing else I can do.
Official Raspberry Pi 4Ks.
Yeah, great. Pi Zero, $50 with 9 bids.
Oh, nuts.
That is crazy. $50 one bid. And like we checked on here, if you want to buy one new at a reasonable price, actually, I don't even, well, these are the Pi 4 Model B, so yeah, the $70 is about right. Well, so that's a bit high. The 8 gigabyte version was like 100,
Yeah,
so I guess that's about right.
but you got to buy it from that company in Europe.
Mhm.
And we don't know what's going to happen to the.
That's just really unfortunate. Nothing else you can do. You just. I'm gonna look at these orange pies though, because they seem very similar.
I don't like know who's buying up
Well,
all Raspberry Pis and why.
I want to know too. I mean, they shouldn't be that high of demand. It's either they're just like actually not manufacturing any new ones. I mean, for it to be this bad, it seems like they'd have to just be pretty much almost completely halted all production to get this bad. It would seem like
if they were able to produce a normal number of them, they just can't. The demand has just gone through the roof, but I could be wrong there. But
well, if that's true,
yeah,
then why is, I mean, even with just absolutely crazy demand, I think we can go to stock alert feed. Okay, that's not what I want. I think here they have notifications for stuff going in stock. Stock alert 6 hours ago, China. 8 hours ago, Model B. Okay, well, whoa, do you see that? 8 hours ago, 100 plus units in stock. And it's been 8 hours and they're completely gone.
yeah.
So I guess that, okay, so I guess they are getting stock. Adafruit's 1 unit in stock. Wow.
Probably already gone.
So could we not? That's where I just was. So yeah, again, the only 2 stores that have them is that.
And those are over in Europe.
I don't want to try even mess with that because they're gonna have to go through customs, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have like customs fees. Okay, so they are going in stock in various places. This was April 14th. This was yesterday. So this is 100 plus units in stock. So they're just being bought out instantly. Is what it looks like the problem was. So the other weird thing though is that on Adafruit, I signed up for email alerts. Like say I want a Pi 3 Model B. That's a 1 gig version, 2 gig, 4 gig. That's not it. Pi 4. Hold on. Can I?
They started making the 1 gig version in Kent. The Raspberry Pi 4 1 gig version.
Oh man. I mean, so there's the Pi 3 Model B 1 gig. Can I get a Pi 4 Model B with 2 gig?
Yeah.
That'd probably be better. So, oh wow, there is a 1 gig version.
Yeah. Out of stock. All of them out of stock.
So I'm gonna put this notification in. I did that before once already, and I never got a single email from them. I wonder if they're just going out of stock before the email even sends out. Oh wow, look at this. We're now requiring a verified account with 2-factor authentication enabled in order to purchase the Pi. Of bot purchasers making it difficult. Wow. But where are the bots selling them? I guess they could be selling them on Amazon or eBay, but I haven't seen. I mean, even the listing for $200, it's only like, oh, 1 in stock. It's not like the graphics cards were a few months ago where you could get them. There were a lot of stock, but they were obviously being scalped. I guess I better make an account then if I want to jump on this when it comes in. I'm also going to go to the 4 GB version. Send me a notification for that too. Man, that's just crazy. Pi B plus. That's the 1 gig version. Pi 3 1 gig. These are all 1 gig. What? See, they don't have the Pi 3B plus with more than 1 gig on the website.
Yeah, 3B. None of the 3s are any bigger than 1 gig. They started
Really
more memory with the 4, and they started out with 2 gigs, and then they got 4 gig. Mine's 4 gig, and then you can get an 8 gig. Well, unless you're using a 64-bit operating system, you really don't get any great benefit out of the 8 gig model anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I could have promised that there was that the Pi 3s that I had more than 1 gig, but I guess not.
No.
Okay. Well, that's not bad then.
3 is a gig.
0 in stock. Can't even do back orders. Wow.
I'd like to know who's buying all these up. What are they doing, making missiles out of them or what?
That's just what doesn't make sense. I mean, there's a few listings here and there. I mean, I guess this sort of thing here where it's in the box, that could be one of the scalping things.
Yeah. $62 for a 2 gig.
Pi 4 Model B 2 gig. If we go on, okay, I want to go back to, if we go to the Pi 4 2 gig, what does that cost? See, these prices, the other thing is on here, the prices are still the same as they were post COVID. So they were selling the Pi, yeah, this one. That's 45, and on here it's 62. So that could be like the sort of thing that's sort of way they're being sold that's taking up all the supply. Here's a Pi 4 Model B 2 GB RAM for 120. That's this. $45. Well, I guess the best you can do then is just put your email on here and have them alert you. Even though I've already done this and never got a single email, maybe I need to check my spam folder. That is unfortunate. And this thing is still messed up because I had never got the Pi reconnected. Yep. Wow. These are interesting though. I might try one of these out sometime. If I can put Ubuntu on it, then I can do everything I need to do.
Yeah.
I really want to do some kind of car system. I'm thinking of putting like an RTL SDR with some kind of like miniature disc. I don't know if you make like a miniature discone, but some kind of discone for wideband stuff, and then a Raspberry Pi with a touchscreen on it. And then I also want to have like APRS and airplane tracking, all that in like one little system to put in the car. So you could have everything at once.
The disco needs to be a quarter wave at the lowest frequency you're going to use it on.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, these usually are not small. Even like the desktop antennas they're not small. Although I don't need to be going down to 25 megahertz. I think the lowest I need to go is 2 meter.
They got to put those stingers on them, and you don't really need that. If you're just going to go down.
These things, the radials.
Yeah, the radials are quarter wave. And then I'm thinking the top section is something like 77/10 of a wave or something like that, or 70. I forget exactly what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something like this. Apparently you can't drive with these. I guess maybe just because they're more. Because I saw a magnet mount one. I think, was it this one? I saw a magnet mount one, and people were saying you can't drive with it.
I want to get one put in my attic.
Yeah, I need one too. Put it on the tower just for general scanning around, so I don't have to disconnect my Comet GP1.
Yeah. Let's see, 50 some bucks. Yeah.
$52.
What
You can transmit with these too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. $52. That's not too bad because Diamond wants over $100 for there at the ham radio store. So I could buy 2 of those for that.
Okay.
200 watts max power. Well, that's plenty.
Yeah. So it can do 2 meter, 220 for 40, 900. So that's
plenty. Plus you can listen to stuff in between with it.
Yeah, you can use it for airband and everything else.
Goes down to oh yeah, you get the whole airband.
Goes down 25 megahertz and goes up to 1.3 gigahertz.
He was a base aircraft hangar 26.
Hmm. What's up with this? What's this antenna on here? Is that like just Wi-Fi or is that
4 gig LPDDR4, 16 gigabyte. Oh no, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Do these not have a micro SD card slot on them? Does this, hold on, what does this say here? 16 gigabyte.
Yeah, they may not have.
Oh, there it is. It's just in a different spot. Does have a card slot. That is a card slot, right?
Yeah,
Looks like one.
Suppose. You know what I always do before I buy something like this? See if I can download the manual and look it over.
That's a good idea. That's the Orange Pi Zero. I don't need the Pi Zero. Oh, wow. Look at this. You can get the... Oh, now this is actually pretty cool. You can get an Ubuntu image, Debian image, and Android image. See, that's actually really neat because you on a Raspberry Pi, you can put Android on there, but it's not really supported.
Can you run apps on it though?
You can, but the problem is the last time I checked, at least the graphics hardware acceleration is not implemented.
Yeah.
So if you try and run it runs kind of slow and sluggish.
Some things I don't care about that.
.4G. So now wait, does this have a 4G modem built in?
Here.
Whoa. See, this is actually cool. None of the Raspberry Pis have this.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of alternatives to Raspberry Pi. I guess it's time for us to become acquainted with them.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff will operate on a cellular telephone network. But
see, that's what I would need. I could put a data SIM card in it.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. And since you can just put straight Ubuntu on there, I mean, that's pretty good. Like with a Raspberry Pi, you got to put like a stripped down version of a bunch of. I mean, that's probably what this is. But can I read about it? User root password launch
Well,
file.
for ARM, I would suppose I think you can put a 64-bit version on there now.
Yeah, you can. There's an option in the download to do the 64-bit version. But if I do that, if I put a 64-bit on there, isn't like all the software just not going to work? I mean, anything anything I try and install is probably not going to work, right?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Or I'd have to enable the 32-bit package. If that's all you have to do, that's easy. But I don't know what the benefit would be. Well, since Ian's not here, we may end a little bit early because I'm not really. Oh, we have someone in YouTube. We happen to have audio from Charlotte County Sheriff Scanner and EMS last month at the 22nd. I like 258 times afternoon, please. Thank you. Person in the YouTube chat. We don't keep any archives. We don't stream it ourselves. So your best bet would be to let's see. This was last month on the 22nd. I'm pretty sure they had switched to encrypted at that point, which means even the Broadcastify feed would not have the archive. If you have a paid Broadcastify account, you can go and you can view the archives of any stream you can find. But since we don't have a feed anymore, and I'm pretty sure they'd made the switch before the 22nd, then you're probably not going to be able to get any archives from that, unfortunately.
Pushing them all to go encrypted. You know, I can understand it in some instances, but damn, everything?
Money for the manufacturers. But
Really?
then they're also, I mean, that's really the big thing, but the salesmen are trying to convince them that they need to do it to protect people's privacy because they're running names, date of births, and social security numbers and license numbers over the air. So that is a big selling point.
I guess. I mean, we've had analog all the way up until now. And it hasn't been a problem up until now.
Oh,
I feel like it's just
Motorola and Kenwood dealers have been pushing this for more than 10 years, and now it's finally getting some traction because everybody's so worried about ID theft.
Wow. I think it probably has something to do with all the scrutiny on the police right now as well. You know, they don't.
I don't think it's so much that. I mean, some places it might be, but the majority of it's just this is the only thing that they can do because now all the radios, all they can do is a paid firmware upgrade or pay to go encrypted or add more radios to their system because they're not having to replace the systems all the time like they were when they were moving everybody frequency to frequency.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, once they've bought the system, there's not really that much money to be made off of continuing support for it. So they're going to try and get a new system.
Purchasing the encryption capabilities in most of those systems is almost the cost of a new system, from what I've been told. So,
yeah. Well, if that's it, then that's kind of sad because, I mean, listening to the police on the scanner feed is kind of like important to know what's going on in the area. And now all you're going to have is EMS and fire, and even fire is going encrypted. I guess that, I mean, if you bring a really good point for the fire, especially because the fire would have no interest, I would think, in encryption for any of their personal use.
No, but they are all on the same systems that law enforcement's on. So once they pay for the encryption package, it kind of comes with it, if that makes sense.
Yep. Man. Well, it's just kind of like everything else, going encrypted, going digital. Eventually, scanners will be completely useless. You won't be able to listen to anything because everything will be encrypted. All the businesses are going to go encrypted.
Well, they're really pushing the DMR for the business world, but they're already starting to see some of the businesses they're selling encryption packages to them because they don't want people to listen to their business traffic, business radio traffic, like the taxi cabs and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's, but whenever they say there's no way, there's always a way.
Yeah.
It's just whether it's legal to do it or not.
That's true. Yeah. If there's a way, then they can't really include this, illegal way to listen to encrypted traffic in their software. So you'd have to do it on yourself. You'd have to do it on your personal.
Joseph, you're probably too young to remember when they switched everything over to the original P25 systems in some of the states, and no scanner could hear it. That was the big selling point, and it was going to give them, handheld coverage from one end of the state to the other. Well, it took them many, many years to get to that point. So it's kind of the same thing with the encryption now, I think.
You think eventually we'll have scanners which can get through the encryption? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, right now there are ways to do it because that data is in there. If you could figure out the key and manage to program it into your decoding system with SDR, it can be done. It's not easy, but it can be done.
It depends on what kind of encryption it is. If it's the AES 256 encryption that we're using, then
it gets really, really difficult then, unless you just happen to be able to figure out the encryption key. That is correct.
Yeah.
Man, I hope that, eventually, because the encryption is one thing that I think won't get, if it's just digital, like a new digital protocol or something, that'll get added to the scanners. But encryption, I think, is one of the things that nobody's going to want to touch. None of the amateur community is going to want to touch trying to decode that. So it'll just be kind of something we lose and never get back. That's what I think. Fortunately.
Well, unfortunately, there's also laws against listening to the encrypted stuff if you are not authorized and all that kind of thing too. So technically, if they can prove that you're listening to it, you could be in trouble for that too.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to enforce, but it'll be enough to scare people from even trying it on a large scale.
But the good thing is there are so many other RF devices out there, including the industrial ones that are sending signals out there that should be encrypted that aren't, and probably won't be in many, many years. So there's plenty of other stuff to listen to.
Yeah, you can still listen to hospital pagers. That's something that I would think would be mega encrypted, but it's not. If you just pull up that pager decrypting software and run it on your SDR Sharp, yeah, you'll get, since hospitals use so much power, you get all kind of personal information from that.
Yeah, they ought to have to encrypt, in my opinion, they ought to have to encrypt the personal information. In other words, not send that over the audio channel, but, send it over an encrypted channel.
Well, the pager stuff is text only.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to remember what that software was called. So I used it once and I was like, I don't think it was POXAG. It was something else. No, I think it was actually. Because yeah, you could, like, I was in Lee County, you could pick up the signal from the Health Park Hospital, and it was all kind of stuff, information about patients and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't been clamped down on by the HIPAA regulators, because all that personal identifying information, that's dynamite if that gets out and people start decoding it.
Yeah. Well, everybody decoding it, it's just they're not, a whole lot of attention is being paid to it right now.
Yeah.
But it could be in the future, and then they'll lock that stuff down really quick. Well, I don't have much else. Ian's not here, and he's not going to be here next week either. So if y'all want me to, what?
Is he on vacation or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's going to his cabin to meet a relative there. So he'll be gone for about 10 days, which covers this Friday and next Friday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if next Friday he'll be in here a little bit more because he'll be at his cabin, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
But so at this point, if y'all want to just go, we can shut it down now, or I can stop the YouTube and we can hang out for a while or something. But I don't really have much else to show. Ian's usually pretty good at
show either.
Ian's pretty good at sidetracking everything.
Yeah. But, yeah, let's see. Next weekend. Oh, what's going on next weekend? A couple weeks we got the Florida QSO party. So Georgia was this past weekend. Had a bunch of fun with that.
That's neat. One problem I was having, I have my shortwave, my Kenwood over here, and I have MMSS TV, and I was doing decoding of slow scan stuff. Problem was, I was getting like, if we go to history here and I go back a bunch, you can maybe see that one turned out okay. These two turned out okay. I was getting a lot. Well, see where it's like the lines are I don't know what you call that. It's like it loses the sync.
That looks like an analog TV signal that's been interfered with. You know, had some kind of crap come up in it.
Well, yeah, it's got something like, see this one.
Yeah.
It has a lot of misaligned lines.
Yeah.
And it's kind of still happening. And I'm using an external sound card, a USB sound card, and it feeds the audio from the radio into that. And then I use that as the microphone on this. When I plug it into the computer's built-in sound card, it doesn't happen. But when I do a monitor, when I use a loopback monitor of the sound card, every now and then I hear like a little pop, like a little click, like the audio's not perfectly smooth.
Yeah.
And I think that's causing this because it loses sync. I also tried this other software called QSSTV, and it had the same exact problem, except it actually told you that it lost the sync. So every 10 seconds or so, it would lose the sync, and then it would take a minute to get it back.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's because the audio from that sound card is hitching a little bit.
Well, that could be. There's some kind of interference in there, but
yeah, it could be. I mean, I did some messing around with Pulse Audio and with Pulse Audio, and I think it mostly fixed it because if we look at some of my recent decodes, like this was from earlier today, like that one looks fine. Signal's weak, but it looks okay.
Yeah.
This one is really but again, this one is really badly messed up.
Yeah, just a lot of noise.
Well, there's a lot of noise, but look at it, it's angled really bad. And like the option to do auto resync and auto slant adjustment, that's on. So you'd think it would kind of be able to, I mean, if I sit here and keep clicking high accuracy resync over and over, it'll come out fine, but I have to sit there and keep clicking it. So that's a weird problem, and I'm still trying to fix it. It seemed like it was mostly fixed, but I can tell certain like smaller sections of it. Instead of the whole picture being messed up, it's now just like certain rows mess up. But I don't know. But yeah, it seems like 14.230 is the place to be for slow scan TV. Yeah. If you go on the 40 meter channel, no one really knows that that's the frequency for slow scan TV, so everybody just talks over it.
Yeah,
so you can't really use it.
That goes out on 20 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
My radio still has a problem though. I have the linked dipole, and I went out there and I did the links for 20 meters. I come in here and I go to 20 and I try and tune it. And this radio at full power is not really supposed to pull more than 20 amps. But when I tried to tune it on 20, it was pulling like 30 amps. Like it was pulling crazy high amounts of current, and it would never tune. It would just sit there trying to tune. And if you try and transmit, it shows no SWR, but it also shows no output power, even though the output is turned up. So
Kind of internal oscillation going on, something.
it must be, because one time it used to work fine. And then one day I like sat here and I tried to tune 20 meters with a 40 meter dipole for like 5 minutes. And I think that messed it up somehow.
High impedance when you do that.
I guess. I mean, if I put it on auto and hit tune, it just shuts off the power supply because it pulls too much current.
Yeah, you gotta have a.
Did you take a lightning strike?
No. No lightning strikes. It works fine on every other band. I can even tune 80 on my 40 meter dipole. I can't tune 20 though. If I try and transmit, it just kills the whole thing.
And you pulled down the antenna and looked it all over and everything's good on it?
Yeah, it's just a dipole.
Okay.
I mean, I can receive just fine.
I had one time that would just had one band, it wouldn't work, but all the rest would work okay. I pulled the sucker down and the ballon had some good scorch marks on it. I replaced the ballon, and guess what? It all worked fine after that.
Yeah.
I don't even have a ballon.
If you're trying to tune up a 40 meter antenna on 20, you're going to get a high impedance. So unless you've got a means to match that high impedance, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, you're going to need a ballon.
Yeah.
All right, maybe it's just. I mean, well, that's the thing. I did the links. I disconnected the little links to make it 20, and it didn't. Still has the problem. So at this point,
okay, I forgot about that linked one that you built.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. So you should have a match when you do that.
Yeah, the SWR should be pretty good. I mean,
something going on. Yeah, you want to check your SWR. Make sure you don't have water in your coax or some stupid thing like that.
I mean,
a lot of rain up there.
We've had some rain the past couple of days.
Yeah, I definitely would check that. Make sure you don't have swamped coax.
Well, it's been like this since before the rain, though.
Oh.
I've got the whole connector all siliconed out and stuff.
Yeah.
Coax could still be bad, but
does that have another link between 20 and 10?
Yes, it does.
Check your connection there because it almost sounds like it's too short.
Well, I have
electrically.
I'd look at it with an analyzer and see.
I have the analyzer here. I should just hook that up right now.
Yeah, let's see what it says. What you get on the analyzer.
Let's see here.
Those are a wonderful tool.
Oh yeah, I had this for a while. I never hooked it up. We're gonna see here what it reads.
Go build antennas. That's a great thing to have.
Mm-hmm. The Nano VNA is fine too. Mine just broken, doesn't work.
You just went haywire. I don't know what happened there. But
Yeah,
the
it doesn't even.
VNA ones are fine. They work. And I've got a 269 here, and I think Ian's got one.
Well, he gave me his.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's what I have is his, and it was working fine for a while. All right, let's see if I can do this here. So this is 150 megahertz. That's not where I want to be.
No.
We want to be on.
Let's try. What do you
Hold
say?
on 1 second. I gotta adjust this thing.
Try it on 14.
Okay, we want to be on this. So if we go to 14.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, 16, 15. 14.
This is it's currently set up for 40 meters.
Oh, the antenna set up 40 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But the radio did the same thing.
Speeds on 14 megahertz, which just looks like what you're doing.
And an incredibly high SWR.
Yeah. Resistance 500 ohms. Well,
Let's go to 40 meters.
Let's go ahead and 7 megahertz and see what you get.
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's much better. That shows you close.
Still kind of high.
Yeah, but that's not too terribly bad. Let's see. Yeah, you're
I think I need to make it slightly. Let's see if we go down. So the center point for the frequency is a bit low, so we need to make the antenna a bit shorter.
Shorter, yeah. 7, that's down the extra band. Oh, wait a minute, you're up above.
So like that's kind of the end of the 40-meter band, more or less.
7.3 is the end of the 40-meter band.
Okay, so it's at.
So you're out of the band right now.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, at 708,
That's
it's.
along the lines where you'd expect to see it. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine like this. I don't really even need to adjust it because I don't usually go up here very much. But if we go to 80 meters, yeah, 80 meters is. I have gotten it to tune 80 before.
Yeah, that's kind of weird if it does.
But that's pretty. Yeah, you can't really use it on that. So you really can only use it on 40.
Yeah, you're not gonna really get
between those areas. Okay. Still though, when the antenna is configured for 20, the radio still freaks out and pulls 80 amps and doesn't tune.
That's weird.
I wonder if I've got a broken something inside.
I hope you haven't blown up your finals or anything.
Oh no, those still work fine. I can still transmit on 40. And all that works fine. It's just when I like, okay, so if I'm on 14.230 and I put it in CW mode and I turn down the power output, it's currently set to SWR, right? So when I key up, it should show me the SWR. Well, I key up and it goes to 0. I put it on power, it goes to 0. I turn the transmitter up just a little bit, key up. You can see there, the camera will adjust. That's transmitting. It's putting about 10 amps.
Yeah.
This shows it's putting out some power. We go to SWR. Hey, wait, now it appears to be working. What? That's not what it was doing before. Did it just start working? What happens if I try and tune? I mean, I shouldn't be able to tune, but... Oh, now it's working.
Yeah.
Well, what did I do?
I'm suspecting you had a bad connection with your links.
I
it
didn't change
down
it.
and then put it back up.
Suspicion, yeah.
The only thing that's changed, before I picked up the camera here and showed you the analyzer, when I pushed tune, it would kill the radio and the power supply would turn off. Now it's behaving like it's supposed to. The only difference was that I powered off the radio, unplugged the coax, plugged it into the analyzer, and plugged the coax back in. Now it's behaving like it's supposed to. Because now it's actually reading a high SWR like you would expect.
I would keep a close eye on it whenever you're transmitting.
It should be working fine. That's so weird. All I did was power off and disconnect the coax. Plug it back in. Huh. That is so strange. Put it back on 14.230 for sideband.
Yeah, that's the frequency you can pick up slow scan TV and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is that even on the right? Is that the right input? Yeah, that's the right input. All right. Well, how funny is that? Oh, are we getting a picture? We are getting a picture right now.
Yeah.
Kind of weak. See what this is. Very weak. I'm just going to share my screen. See, it's still, the lines are still all messed up.
Yeah, well, it's a noisy signal.
Yeah, but that even before the noisy signal would not do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can hear it. I turned on the loop back. Sure sound. Like I can hear the sound. It sounds fine. That's a decent signal. But it's all slanted. High accuracy resync. See, that fixes it. And then it's just, now it's garbled again. And why does it do that? Why does it go from being good and then it does something and it makes it bad?
20 meters has been fading.
This doesn't make sense. So that was a decent. Well, see, now it looks. I don't know what that picture's supposed to be because we got the tail end of it, but. Micah, stop it. Don't want that right now. Well, I mean, now it appears to be working like it's supposed to on 20, so I need to go out there and tune the, or do the links for the antenna. It's just annoying because I got to pull down the whole tower, do the links, and then put the tower back up.
What bands are you using that antenna for?
40, 20, and 10.
Oh, okay.
You don't have a pulley standoff with a rope where you can just drop it and pull it right back up?
No, but that's a really good idea.
That's what I'd recommend.
I could just put a pulley up there at the top of the thing and just, that's a really good idea.
Let's pull it down if you want to keep doing that.
I'm going to do that. That is a fantastic idea. I wish I'd thought about that. That would make it so much easier.
I'd like to take credit, but many people have it. Usually they'll take like a piece of PVC pipe and strap it to the wherever they want it to go in the tower, and then have it long enough to, you know, go out a couple 3 feet off the tower, and then attach a pulley, and then you attach a rope in there and knot it off where you don't lose your rope when you drop it, and you can pull up any antenna you want to fairly quickly.
See, I have a push-up pole, so all I'd have to do, it's already on an isolator, so there's a PVC that goes up a few feet, and that's where all the antennas are, so they're not interfered with by the metal mast. But
oh, okay, yeah,
all I gotta
seen them do that before too. Yeah,
I just gotta put a little pulley up there, and I already have some rope, and that would make it so easy to go out there and just switch the bands instead of having to loosen the tightening lock on the push-up pole and then lower that thing down. You know, it's pretty heavy, so you gotta lower it down. You gotta stand on the ladder and make your adjustments, and then send it back up and tighten the lock again. If I could just do that with a pulley, that'd be so much easier.
You know what I'd do if I were in your shoes? Now, this is a solution I use here. Is just turn that, put it in the 40-meter configuration and put your 49-to-1 transformer on one end of that. And that will work on 20, let's see, 40, 20, 15, and 10.
What do you mean by one end? Because the coax connects in the middle.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Short that out and put your end-fed transformer on one end, and you get rid of all that having to go out there and fool with that.
Oh, okay.
But that will change it from an end-fed long wire, or from a dipole to an end-fed long wire.
End-fed half wave.
Or half wave, yeah. So
I've already got an end-fed half wave. That's not set up right now, but I have one.
Yeah, that's the great thing about those. Now, the weakness of those is that you're not as much in control of the pattern, the directional pattern, but you do get rid of having to mess around with running outside to change the configuration.
That's true, but I have an 80-meter end fed, which works on 40 and 20 and everything else, you know.
Yeah.
But the performance of that compared to what I have now was like night and day. The one I have now is the first antenna I've ever had where I can actually make contacts on voice. And like the other antenna, the 80-meter end fed, if I did like the FT8 thing where you go on PSK reporter and see where you're getting out, I was getting out okay. And so I thought that was good performance until I put this thing up and I get out like just a million times better than what I did with the end fed half wave. In the same configuration, the end fed was connected to the top of the tower, sloped down to the ground.
Yeah.
The same sort of setup, but the dipole just works so much better.
Is the supporting pole metal or fiber or fiberglass or what is it?
The pole is metal, but I have everything separated by pipe.
Yeah, that may be what's affecting the in-fed half wave. I don't know. But anyway, I was just trying to figure out a way to get rid of you having to go out there and change the configuration every time you want to change bands.
Well, if I have a pulley, then I don't mind walking out there, just change the length. I mean, that's easy. It's just having to go up on the ladder and.
Yeah, that's insane. I would figure out I'd do the pulley thing in that case.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll probably go tomorrow to Lowe's and get a pulley. That is such a good idea. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, you just drop the thing down and change the configuration, and you're set to go.
Because I like operating 20 and 40 are the main bands I like working on, and if I can just switch between those two. I mean, I haven't messed with the 10 meter yet. I guess I should, but doesn't seem like there's that much to do on 10 meter, at least around here.
Oh, 10 meters have been wide open here last couple months.
Yeah.
All over the world. So
really?
Oh yeah. I worked a bunch of stuff on 10 meters a few weeks ago for the sideband WPX contest.
Oh.
All over Europe and all over South America with the hex beam. Yeah. That band.
Okay.
Yeah. 10 meters has been pretty well out. And you can build a separate 10 meter antenna. I mean, that's almost trivial.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Well, I'm gonna have to try it then. Maybe that's what I do tomorrow is to try out 10 meter. Because I know some of the guys around here were saying there was occasionally activity on 10, but I had never really tried. I monitored the 10 meter call channel for a while and I didn't hear anything, so I kind of gave up on that. But
don't go on that. There's not much going on there. Listen down around between 28.3 and 28.5, which is the band every licensee can use. And that thing, if that band comes up, that area will light up. There'll be a load of stations there.
Okay. So that's something I gotta try then. That sounds like a lot of fun.
In some instances, you'll be able to hear South America, or you'll be able to hear Europe, or maybe both.
Wow.
New Zealand on that here not too long ago.
Well, I did hear I was mobile the other day, and on 11 meter, I heard a station from the UK coming.
Yeah.
So that was impressive because usually you don't hear that even when skip is running.
Well, if 11 meters has skip, there's definitely skip on 10.
And it's probably going to be out too.
Well, that's great. I'm going to try that because I have not messed with that yet. Is that FM or single sideband?
That's sideband.
Okay.
Upper sideband.
Activity is about 29.5 on 10 meters. Everything else is sideband, AM, and all that good stuff.
Right. Okay. That's good. I mean, the 8900, the ASU 8900 has 10 meter, but it only does FM.
It's only FM.
So you're kind of limited there.
That's only useful above, like I said, about 29.5 is where they say you can use FM. So everything else is going to be sideband, AM, CW, and all your other digital modes. So
yeah, and there's not nearly as much FM traffic on 10 meters, although there are some repeaters out there that once in a while, if you're tuning around up on 29 megahertz, you'll hear some people using those when the band's up.
Right, right.
Fun is down on sideband, on the lower part of the band.
Yeah.
CW. I worked a boatload of CW stations, and like I said during the contest, I got a bunch of stuff down in South America, and some people have been telling me they've been here in Australia and Japan. I haven't heard them, but that doesn't mean they aren't there.
Oh, I worked Australia and Japan within the last month, several stations in both. I've worked New Zealand. And I'm just running on a wire out here about in an NVIS configuration.
Yeah.
Inverted V. So
you don't
and
need
100
a lot
watts.
of power in you. 10 meters up, you don't need a big antenna. You don't need a whole lot of power. It goes crazy.
And you can also use FT8, I believe. Well, I know you can use it on 10 meters, but I'm not sure if you're only a technician, if you're allowed to. It may be out of your band.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but you're on 40 meters, so you must have a general class? I wasn't sure, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm extra.
Okay, well, there you go.
Wherever you want to.
You can go wherever you want to, but
You go
FTA is quite popular too when it's open.
Yeah, sure is. And that's interesting doing on 10 meter. I think Ian did that a while back. He left it monitoring on 10 meter and got a few stations just throughout the day.
It can go crazy. That's one of the first things I do when there's a contest on. I check 10 and 15, see if they're open. Usually if 15's open, there's a pretty good chance 10 will be open too.
If 15, 15 is 10 megahertz, right?
21 megahertz. That's 21 megahertz band.
And what is 10 megahertz?
That's a 30 meter band.
30 meter band, okay.
That's open most of the time. That's a good band.
Although you can't really do much on there. It's pretty narrow. I think you can only do FT8.
Yeah, you can do some FT8, you do CW. No, there's no voice there.
Yeah, there's no voice.
Like that.
Well, now that I can't believe the radio is it's working like it's supposed to now. Huh.
Magic happens.
I guess. Maybe my connector was not on right.
Yeah, you check your connectors. Ghosts.
Yeah, that's what Ian would say. But now that doesn't freak out whenever I try and transmit. I mean, the SWR is still really high and you can't actually really use it, but it doesn't freak out like it used to. That's pretty neat. Huh. Well, if any of you see a Kenwood 2600 for sale, I need one because the back of mine is destroyed. I know there's like 2 on eBay right now, but I don't want to buy those.
Yeah. There's always duct tape.
You got that 3D printer, print you out a shell.
Well, that was my first idea, and I could print a new back, but printing the front would be another deal because this is just 2 pieces. So I could print a new back for it, but the front would be a lot harder because you have the actual screen and you have the transparent see-through and you have all the labels and everything.
The front.
You'd have to make the front and back.
Really?
Yeah, because it's both pieces are cracked.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
front and back are destroyed.
I thought it was just the back. Now I see it.
Yeah, I wish it was just the back, but there you go. They don't make handhelds like this anymore. I mean, it has a little S meter on it. How cool is that? That actually works. Like you transmit keys up and
that's
everything.
Not bad for a 40-year-old, probably HT.
Yeah. One of my friends in Miami supposedly might have one, and if he'll sell it to me, then I'll get it. But
that would be cool.
I miss having the separate squelch and volume knobs. I think the Yaesu FT60 is the last one to have separate knobs. The rest of them are all now you have to go through the menu and set your squelch.
ICOM has come out with a new dual band analog.
I've seen that one. IC10, is it? I see some
10 something. I don't know all the details on it, but they just came out with it.
Very close to the FT65.
Yeah. FT65 is a nice little rig.
Was it the
Oh, Joseph, before I forget, the reason I got on the Zoom tonight was to let you know that if you're willing to make a run down to Mobile, Alabama next Saturday, we're having a ham fest. It's fairly large, and it'll be running from 8 a.m. till about noon on Saturday. If you're interested, since you're in Huntsville, it's not that far away.
Let me see here what the drive would be like.
Probably looking at about 4 or 5 hours total each way.
That's not where I'm located. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah,
All the way
that's pretty far down there. Yep. That would be about a 5-hour drive.
To make sure you knew about it if you wanted to know.
Yeah, that would be about a 5-hour drive, but if I wanted to I'd have to stay the night over in Mobile because there's no way I'd get in there by 8 a.m.
Well, I didn't even know if you'd be interested or not. I just wanted to
I am
sure
interested.
You knew about it.
Yeah, I am interested in it. I'd like to be able to go, but it's just really far. I'm looking forward to the Huntsville Ham Fest up here.
Huntsville's a nice one. I enjoy that one. That one in Orlando, and back in the day, Atlanta used to be a pretty good one, but it hasn't been that great the last few years. But I think that's just because Hamfest are slacking off.
Yeah.
Although they seem to be coming back with the COVID restrictions for a couple years.
Airs in the first weekend of June. So, yeah, they had a lot of problems in Atlanta. Well, between the COVID mess and had problems with venues and problems with getting clubs to cooperate and all that. But they're supposed to have one this year, or the first weekend of June. How big it'll be, I don't know.
Alrighty. Here's the new, it's a T10, IC T10. And I'm pretty sure that knob, it has two knobs, but I'm pretty sure that middle one is a channel selection.
Channel selection, I don't know what that is.
Because
I like the separate squelch controls too.
I'm pretty sure that knob is channel select, just like the Baofeng 888.
Yeah. Well, most of the newer ones are like that.
Yeah. They make you go through a menu.
Looks like ICOM decided they needed to do a mil-spec version of some HTs. I don't think they'd had anything up till now, have they?
They've been pushing their D-Star stuff, but that's the first all analog, just analog HT I've seen them come out with, other than their little 2 meter only handheld. So, but they just came out with that.
Wow, I just looked down at my weather station here and it's showing clouds with raindrops and lightning. And I'm like, what? It's a clear night. And then I look at the radar and sure enough, there's something coming towards us.
Oh yeah, look out. Yeah, look out that time of year. This time of year.
Doesn't look like it's going to be that bad, so I'm not going to take down the tower. But not in this thing, maybe up north, but
we had some lightning here this afternoon. It wasn't long, but we had some here.
I've been doing those weather streams. Y'all got to tell us too. If y'all get tired of seeing a bunch of notifications for the TechNet channel, let us know and we'll stop doing so many streams. But me and Ian for the past week have been doing a lot of streams, just like passive stuff that you can let run all day. And we have gotten like 4 or 5 new subscribers, or actually more than that. We've got like almost 15. And one of them we do is the weather one. So whenever there's severe weather coming through, I turn it on with the camera and live temperature and wind speed and all that. And yeah, not last night, but the night before last. Was it last night? I can't remember. I'm bad at remembering that kind of thing. But we had a big storm come through and there was forecasted high winds. It was like, oh, we're gonna get 40-mile-an-hour gusts. We only saw like a high of like 15 miles an hour. But all that came through and like we had like 6 people watching at one point on the stream, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
People actually kind of tune in for that. I do like weather radio audio, or I do oh, picture coming in. That's a good signal. Ah, wrong screen.
I heard the audio.
Now look, it's see, what is that?
Just noise.
Yeah, it's noise, but look at the picture. It's slanted. And if I hit high accuracy resync, there, now I can see it says 500 watts.
Yeah.
But I have to keep clicking it over and over if I want it to come out good. I mean, it looks right now. Nope, it wasn't. It was still messed up. Now look how slanted that is. Why is it so slanted? What if I turn off auto slant adjustment, auto resync, turn all that off? And it's still messed up. I just don't know what the problem is. I mean, I can hear the audio coming in. It sounds fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise in that too.
There is, yeah.
Well, somebody's talking right off frequency there, so that's interfering with you.
Yeah, someone is talking.
500 watts.
500 watts of power. Yeah, he's almost completely faded out. Who is talking on my frequency? Get
Somebody
off my
on
frequency.
frequency.
I don't know where they are. Is still lower? Get off my frequency! Well, I can put it on, I have the wide thing. That doesn't really help. Put on narrow. Oh well, just have to deal with it. Yeah, that, I just don't, when I plug it into the computer, it doesn't have that weird problem where it's all slanted. So I guess it's just,
You're getting some noise from somewhere.
you think it's noise in the audio line?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Huh. I mean, what could it be? Because I'm not transmitting with anything.
You got some
It's
mall
not
works
that.
around there or something else.
Yeah,
Just giving you a little RFI. That's where I would look.
I do have that. Because well, yeah. Because I try it with the computer sound card and I don't get that problem. And then I do this and it just. Well, if y'all want to go, we can go. I mean, it's
Yeah.
what, 10:15 down there?
Yeah, it's 10:15 here, and I've been up since early this morning anyway, so I'm starting to fade here. So,
Yeah.
That's fine. I just normally I just watch on YouTube, and like I said, I wanted to make sure you guys knew about the Mobile Hamfest next Saturday if you were interested. So
yeah, it's too far. It's too bad. It's too far away from both of us.
Yeah.
that's the case.
Yeah, I'm in Fort Myers, which would probably be. Well, I'm trying to figure out how far it is from here to Pensacola, which isn't far away, but that's still good 600 some miles.
Yeah, it's.
Were you in Atlanta at one time, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah,
I knew I recognized your call. I used to live up in Noonan, so before I moved down here a few years ago.
Yeah, I've been a member of North Georgia QRP group, Atlanta Radio Club, North Fulton Amateur Radio League, whole bunch of them up there. So
yeah, I knew your call sounded familiar. I'm sure we talked on the radio once or twice.
probably, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys take care. Happy Easter.
All right.
And maybe next week.
Yeah. I still got to figure out what to do for next week. We'll figure something out. I like doing actual topics again. It's nice.
Yeah, maybe I need to put my thinking cap on and think of something here. Sorry.
I think Dave wants to discuss roundabouts. And make sure you let Ian know that that's coming up.
Yeah, we're also going to discuss why we should abolish the time zone.
Oh yeah, that caused some controversy.
I still get. I told him the other day why this idea was dumb, but
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and end the meeting now. I'm gonna go have some dinner probably. So this is Southwest Florida Tech Net. Thank you all for watching. We'll come back next week on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We go live every week, and go to our website, southwestfloridatech.net, and you can get our little newsletter where we announce what we're going to do for the next TechNet and all that good stuff. So I'll say